5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program. Is your host of About Space, David Denault.
Welcome and thanks for joining me today on the last Tuesday of January 2021. And I have several news items I want to share with you, including the 7th Space Trivia question. But first, the successful return of Japan's spacecraft which collected samples from an asteroid. The Kennedy Space Center Visitors Complex is now fully opened, and in a first for NASA, the Orion-Rex spacecraft briefly touched and collected samples from the asteroid Bennu. Plus, the James Webb Telescope continues its preparation for launch. These stories and more next on About Space Today. Are you ready to fly away on a dream vacation? For cruises and all-inclusive resort vacations, call D&D Cruise and Tours at 877-747-8631. That's 877-747-8631. And see us on Facebook, D&D Cruise and Tours, where your dreams become a reality. And with our 7th space trivia question is Rick Potluck of America in Space. And be sure to listen to his program this Friday for our final space trivia question. And you'll have until midnight tonight to submit your answer to today's question.
Hopefully this is an easy trivia question for everybody. How many planets in our solar system have rings?
Welcome back. The Japanese Space Agency has successfully collected samples from an asteroid and has returned them to Earth on December the 14th. The spacecraft landed in the Australian desert. And here's more on this historic accomplishment.
It's been years since we last saw Hayabusa 2 leave our planet. In 2014, the spacecraft launched from the Tanegashima Space Center while aboard the H-2A rocket. Its mission? To study and sample a C-type asteroid. Yugu is one of the smallest objects ever visited by a spacecraft, but it's worth going to because C-type asteroids are some of the most ancient objects in our solar system. Scientists speculate that they were created during the violent beginnings of our solar system's formation and could also carry the building blocks of life. These kinds of asteroids, though, are quite carbon-rich, causing coal-black surfaces that actually make it very difficult to see and study from Earth. So when Hayabusa 2 arrived at Yugu in 2018, it was quite prepared to study the asteroid like never before. This mission included not only the main spacecraft with remote sensing instruments, but also a lander, small rovers, a sampling system, and an impactor to create a small crater on the surface. That's right, Hayabusa 2 was equipped with a carry-on impactor that consisted of a small box of explosives and copper. In April 2019, that box was released and created an artificial crater that revealed preserved material that could contain compounds from roughly 4.5 billion years ago, or even longer. With this new crater in July 2019, Hayabusa 2 was the first spacecraft to ever collect that kind of subsurface sample. But all these challenges are what made Hayabusa 2 that much better. They'll have about a year to do their own research before it gets sent out internationally for everyone to take a glimpse at what could be the remnants of the early solar system. I think it goes without saying that Hayabusa 2 is a groundbreaking mission, and we'll just have to wait and see how much more it can teach us about the solar system we call home. Hayabusa 2 isn't the only sample return mission. OSIRIS-REx is not too far behind with its samples from the asteroid Bennu, which is set to return in 2023.
Yes, Bennu is making progress toward its targeted return in 2023. The James Webb Space Telescope continues its preparation for launch. It will be NASA's next great achievement in a great observatory now targeted for October the 31st launch. And with most restrictions being lifted, the Kennedy Space Center Visitors Complex is opening many of the attractions that have been restricted due to the pandemic. That's the news for this Tuesday. Be sure to invite your family and friends to listen. And for launch details and more, like us on Facebook at aboutspace.today. I'm David Denault, and this has been About Space Today.